Hey everyone, it's MJ, and as always, the pen is mightier than the sword. Thank you for watching and subscribing. The devil is working hard to deceive many through laws like abortion, but also same sex marriage in 31 countries. Now, the problem with this is it opened the door because they'll have the same argument as them.
Being gay is the way that I was born. I believe this to the core of my being.
The problem with that argument is pedophiles or maps, as I'll show you in the video. They're trying to call themselves and add themselves to the alphabet community. Is that's the same argument that.
Held in the beginning that something was different in these people, and it was something that was different in a way that they couldn't control. But we had no idea, is this the kind of thing that would be different from something that they learned over the course of life, or something that they were born with? That sex network, which is cabled together, is all cabled through that same chunk of connective tissue, which I found was different in the pedophiles. So it's not that these areas of the brain are different in the pedophiles, it's that the network that they're supposed to form isn't connected properly. So it's accidentally identifying things in the environment that should evoke a parental nurturant instinct, but instead it's provoking a sexual and erotic instinct, almost like a literal cross-wiring in the brain.
From all the science,
Yep.
from all your science, did it answer the question, are pedophiles born or made?
Interestingly, the science in general says that pedophiles appear to be born, not made. The stuff that we've seen that are different in pedophiles in their brain functioning is all stuff that doesn't happen during the course of life.
Are you saying that for the pedophile, their attraction to children is natural for
They
them?
experience it as natural. They did not pick it. They come to realize it over the course of life. The way that most of them describe it starts out like any of us. When they're, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, they get crushes on people around their age, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. And then most of us, as we grow older, we continue to get crushes on and experience attractions to people roughly around our age, growing into adulthood as we grow into adulthood. For the pedophiles, however, when they start becoming 14, 15, 16, they're still getting crushes and finding themselves attracted to 8, 9, 10 years old. So it takes them until there's enough contrast between their own age and the people they're attracted to before they start realizing there's something different about them.
That implies it's not a choice for them, that it's actually a sexual orientation.
Correct. All the evidence suggests that they did not pick to be attracted to children any more than the rest of us picked to be attracted to adults.
That's a big call, isn't it?
It is a big call, and I don't make it easily. I don't think anybody makes it easily.
So, if it is biological, if the brain is wired that way, it also implies, doesn't it, that the wiring cannot be changed. There is no cure.
That's what it seems to suggest now. I hesitate ever to say that the future will not produce some technology that I could not predict. Evoking the responses that come with perceiving a kid, it's as if it's cross-wired, and when it sees a kid or perceives a kid, it's triggering the sex response system instead of the parental nurturing system. A literal cross-wiring. Nobody is in control of or no man is in control of whatever it is he's interested in or not interested in. I think just growing up gay made me naturally sympathetic to that story.
Another problem is the brainwashing our youth, like this scene with two dads.
Here's a photo of us. Since we can't tuck you in tonight.
Remember, Clyde, no nuts, no gluten, no sugar, and be careful with orange juice. You know how you get with pulp.
He's growing up so fast.
Come on, Howie. Remember what Dr. Lopez said about letting go. Now let go.
I love him so much.
Or how about the upcoming Disney's new Lightyear film where it'll be a kiss between two same-sex characters? So yeah, they are targeting our youth. And also, on social media, they are saying, as Pride Month begins, I would like to share my thread as to why MAPS, minor attracted people, are valid and a valid part of the ABC alphabet community. And this is a huge problem because It's the same argument. They want to be accepted as human beings without being hated or feared or stigmatized for attraction they never choose. So they're trying to normalize it very much. And they already normalized 72 genders and babies and all this.
Complicated. Not to you,
course.
but it's complicated to me. So let me try and let's just lay this out. Explain your domestic setup. You're married, is that right?
Yes, I'm in a multi-adult family. There's 3 of us that are raising 2 children, an 8-year-old and my 1-year-old.
And how would you describe yourself? You were born biologically male, or how would you describe
I'm
it?
non-binary. Yeah, I'm non-binary, which means that I don't identify as a man or a woman, and I use they, them pronouns.
Okay, and your wife or partner, is it a wife? How would you describe your other half?
Well, all of the adults in my household identify as transgender or non-binary.
Right, and you're only married to one, or you're married to both?
Legally married to one,
Right,
in a
and the one
relationship with another.
so the one you're legally married to, what is their name?
Bren,
Bren, and Bren identifies as
a woman,
a
uses
woman.
she, her.
And she was born a woman and remains identifying as a woman.
Yeah, yeah, she's a woman.
Okay, and who's the third member of the setup?
My partner Luna, who
Yeah.
uses they, them pronouns as well.
And Luna is male or female, or
Non-binary.
non-binary? And okay, but you're not married to Luna.
No.
Okay, and you have 2 children in the house.
Yes.
Okay, and just to clarify again, Sparrow, we don't know whether Sparrow was born male or female because you haven't said that, but Sparrow is now non-binary?
No, sparrow is, I would say, antigender, which is a term, that means before gender. Like, all children, at this age are developmentally not able to really understand gender yet. It's just something that they don't have the understanding for. So it's not that the child is non-binary, it's that the child just doesn't have any gender yet.
Right, but the child, look, let me try and get my head around
Like
this.
obviously they do have anatomy.
Right, so what anatomy does Sparrow have?
Well, that's something that we don't usually discuss unless it's necessary with maybe a medical professional or, a caregiver.
Right. So,
Ari,
okay.
I just wonder if I can intervene here, because I think that a lot of people find this very confusing. And it's because people think that if you are born with biological anatomy that indicates that you're either male or female, then therefore you have that gender identity. You're a man or a woman. But can you explain why you think that that isn't helpful, that the anatomy that you are born with biologically shouldn't dictate your identity? Because I think that's the sort of bigger point that your situation is trying to get to, isn't it? That when you're born with certain genitals, society decides how you should act. And as far as I'm trying to understand it, that is what you're railing against. Am I right?
Yes, it's a great question and a great clarification. What it is don't dictate what their gender is.
When did
Sparrow
Hazel
having a preference?
Yeah, when did Hazel decide that she was no longer going to be a girl?
Hazel decided that they were non-binary when they were about 4. They had been exploring gender before that, trying on different pronouns, experimenting with different names, but they picked they, them pronouns and chose the name Hazel when they were 4
Ari,
years old.
with the greatest of respect, I have a 7-year-old daughter, right? When she was 4 years old, her main decision of the day was whether to watch Peppa Pig or Frozen. She had not a clue what about gender identity or non-binary or any of this stuff. And I put it to you that this wasn't Hazel's idea, was it? This was your idea. You decided that Hazel had gender issues that she needed to address, and you persuaded your daughter that she was no longer to be a girl, didn't she?
I personally don't agree with that assertion, but I can see how that could be misconstrued.
What a mess. And then they normalized the male swimmer that became a woman and won and set a record in a women's meet. The ABC alphabet community opened the door for these maps, and it's all got to do with the devil. This right here, this picture is why The devil is using governments and celebrities to brainwash everyone. And I'm praying for everyone in the alphabet community. This is not a way to judge you. I'm just trying to save you from being astray. I am nowhere near perfect. I sin and repent every day. But how can you repent for something that the world says is okay? You will eventually believe it is. And it is not okay. So stay vigilant, everyone, and pay attention to what is going on around you. I'm praying for each and every one of you, and pray for me as well. God bless you all. Also, I forgot to mention how they're normalizing kids as adults, like Greta Thunberg, whatever her last name is. But she is a part of the movement to normalize, and they already have it in 9 states that a person under 18 can marry with a consent of one parent and a judge. And as brainwashed as people is, as you've seen in the video, there's sadly a lot of child marriage going on there. So God bless you all. Praying for you all. Stay vigilant.